Hey everybody, this is Eric Rice and Brett Hepner with the Property Dads at LeConte Realty, and we are coming at you live from our very own homes here during this time of quarantine. We haven't been with you in some time, and so we thought we'd check in. I think it's been a month of Mondays since we have done the Mondays Market Minute, but we need to share some information with you, and so we'll get started with that. Brett's got some stats for you on the market.
I do. During this time, we haven't broadcast because we weren't sure how important this stuff was, but I think it's at least worth mentioning. Interesting things going on still in the Blount County market. Price per square foot continues to creep upward at $122.89, according to the Knoxville MLS, for all of Blount County, which the average list price of a home in Blount County still going up also at $256,129, and the average sale price still at 97.8% of asking price at $250,491. Really, really good still. Days on market hasn't changed, still averaging just 45 days on market. It could be that since it takes 4 to 6 weeks on average probably to close a home, that we haven't really seen the impact of the whole shutdown thing and the COVID-19, but so far, Blount County is still looking strong. According to the MLS, there are 327 active listings in Blount County, down a little bit from last week at 341, but the week before that, 327. So it's still kind of creeping upward. If you remember when we talked a month ago, they were under 300 or right at 300. So they are starting to go up. If you compare it to last year, it's still down quite a bit. Maybe a year ago, the average or the number of listings was right around 400, just a little over 400, 402, 403. And so this is down, like 75 homes, but I'm not sure that's so much to do with the COVID-19 thing as it is just the market. Like I said, in the past, before any of this started, we were down below 300. So, it's still kind of holding strong. We'll see what the next month brings. Interest rates, are still very attractive, 3.51% according to bankrate.com for a 30-year fixed in Tennessee. So really, really good. So, if you're able to get out and buy or sell a house, it's still a really good time.
Yeah, I think that's important to note because people do see those numbers of homes that are on the market and think, because of all this COVID-19 stuff, that homes have dropped. But really that trend had been going on for months, years before all of this happened in the last month or so.
It has. Actually, the one thing that I did want to mention as far as showing was, I'm going to put Eric on the spot and test his Zoom skills if he can share a screen. Showing Time is a national, actually even more than national, showing service that is provided to realtors, and they tracked, and they did this for the COVID-19 impact. This is a graph showing number of showings in Tennessee. Actually, this one's just North America. Eric, if you can change it to Tennessee, you'll see in Tennessee, it really tracked the country, obviously, in that it started at January 1st of this year, and then it tracks how number of showings changes throughout the year. And you can see that the black line is 2019 and the orange line is 2020. And we were kind of tracking right along till obviously the 1st of March when the number of showings really started dropping off in 2020. We hit what looks to be the all-time low April the 12th when we were 38% lower on showings in Tennessee than we were at the beginning of the year, which is really unheard of. You see last year at this time, at that same time, we were 24% above. As far as a positive, since April 12th in the last 8 days, it's really jumped up. Like I said, we were down 38%. Now we're down 13%. So it's coming back. But I anticipate that this slowdown that we've had for a month and a half is going to show up probably coming up in the next month and a half. But it looks like it's going to come back, though.
Let me now figure out how to unshare my screen here.
We learn on the fly.
What's that?
I said we learn on the fly here.
Yeah, certainly. And if our kids aren't around, then watch out. But so that's definitely something that we have been watching is how I have no idea what I'm doing here. the number of showings. Here we go. Stop share. The number of showings, how that has been affected over the past month and a half. And so I think as we're starting to trend up now, I think we'll do so even more. Obviously, at the end of this month, the governor has said he was going to lift the stay-at-home quarantine. So you never know what will happen in the coming weeks, but we anticipate that the showings are going to increase even more after that. The other thing, so since all this began, Brett and I and the entire LeConte team, for that matter, have continued to do business, but obviously we're doing it somewhat differently, like many of you. Real estate has been considered an essential business. People are continuing to buy and sell real estate, like Brett just outlined. So we have continued to work, but our number one priority has been, as you can see from us still working at home, is to keep our families and to keep your family, anybody we might come into contact, including our clients, safe. And so we get people asking us all the time, hey, how's the market? How's real estate? What's going on? And most of the time they're talking about what Brett had just talked about. What's on the market, or what's going on in the market? What's the trend for sales? Things like that. Obviously, we've gotten way more questions about what the COVID-19, how that's affecting the market. And I'm not, saying I'm not sure I want to buy or sell during this time. I don't want a lot of people in my house. I don't want to go into anybody's home. I don't want my home to sit on the market forever. All really good points, really good questions, and something that you kind of have to work through, and we can help you with that. But I just want to outline and share with you some of the things that we have been doing to adjust our business. And these are things that we have done in the past when necessary, but this made it more of a practice in the last month, 6 weeks. One's we offer virtual open houses, virtual walkthroughs, video walkthroughs, virtual showings, just to limit the number of people that you come into contact with, the amount of contact that buyers and sellers have with one another. And another way we've done that is a little more vetting on the front end. We ask that buyers have seen all the photos, all the videos, including we do a floor plan for every house that we list. And so you can see from the photos which room that you're in that floor plan, and see, does this make sense for my family to buy? We ask that buyers drive by the property first so that they're able to see, are they comfortable with the area, comfortable with the setting, so they don't get there, schedule a showing, get there and say, well, the house is great, but I don't like the neighborhood, that kind of thing. So if we're working with the seller might ask us that the first showing may be virtual showing only, and we were able to accommodate that, and buyers may want that as well. So certainly able to do that. And then we always ask during this time that the buyers wear masks, gloves, shoe coverings, or take your shoes off, when you enter a house. And, little details like we ask the sellers to turn on all the lights, crack the doors, so we can limit contact with surfaces in the house as well. And just a couple of other things, when we've always offered digital signatures, and we can conduct business for the most part remotely during the entire sales process. And so that hasn't changed. The closings, which, at the beginning we're thinking could be an issue, they've done, our title company friends have done a fantastic job. It's almost been a drive-through closing where you pull into a parking lot and they bring documents for you to sign out to the car, or they have it, in open air out in a tent next to the building. Whatever they can do to limit contact between parties. So a lot of creative ways that people in the real estate business are trying to keep you all safe. So it's not business as usual, but we're finding ways to continue to do business and work for you.
It's definitely not business as usual.
No, for sure. All right, so that's Monday's Market Minute. We appreciate you guys. If you have any questions about this, and either the market numbers or kind of how we could help you during this time, either a buyer or seller, property management, whatever we can do to help you, give the Property Dads a call and let's go to work for you. Thanks.